Hey Internet, my name is Abby and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on Wings. We are looking out of our window and we have a visual on Jool. And yes, we are currently on board of our pole expedition with Baron Kerman. And in the last episode I found out that the atmosphere, although it extends to 200 kilometers at Jool, will start to slow me down below 140 kilometers, so my initial idea of having an aero capture at an altitude or in periapsis of 140 kilometers is not working at all, and I need to lower a little bit my periapsis. And now I'm thinking a little bit about my not the Jool supply but the Bob expedition. I lowered the periapsis to 125 kilometers, and with this I got to the orbit, I think it was to the orbit of Tylo, and this is a little bit too low compared to the orbit of Pole, because Pole is the most outer of the Julian moons, and in this case I think I should just lower my periapsis to well, let's say 128, 129 or so, because I think then it should be much better to not lower my altitude too much, or well, to not lose too much of velocity. And yeah, in this case I think this is what I want to do. I will now try to do my approach with 129, 128 kilometers as a periapsis for my landing. And now let me just see. Oh, I think I'm controlling right away from the wrong side. Yeah, I was controlling my vessel from the wrong side. So let me now turn my vessel around. We need to do a very short retrograde burn. And there, I think I will lower now my periapsis to, as I said, 128 kilometers, and I hope, or 129 kilometers, and I hope by doing so I will get captured by Jool, but I will not lower my apoapsis so much that I need to raise it after the initial capture in order to have a possible encounter with Pole. Okay, we are aligned. Now let's start doing the burn. Where is my periapsis? Jool, what, wait. We lowered it already too much, because I haven't seen this. Okay, Jool periapsis. What about our resources? We do have enough monopropellant, so I think I can just enable RCS. I can switch on the numbers again, and then I think, yeah, just gently RCS bursts to slowly increase our periapsis. We are pretty much far out currently, so it's only gentle bursts are enough to do this. And 128, 127, it's now 128. So now it's somewhat between 128 and 129. I think this is good enough. What about our resources? Well, we have enough monopropellant, so yeah, I have lowered a little bit my periapsis and I have adjusted it. Now we are on a good trajectory, and I hope Baron Kerman will in this case be captured by Jool, but he will not lower his apoapsis too much, so that we are having it a little bit easier to have an encounter with Pole. Okay, so this was a success. Now the next thing is our Jool. Well, let's focus view on Jool, and let's go over to our Bob expedition. Switch to, because this is the thing we left off. Oh, this is a beautiful view back to Lace. This is also pretty amazing, and I have set up a maneuver node, and this maneuver node will adjust a little bit our inclination so that we are in the same inclination as Bob is, and it will raise also a little bit the apoapsis. And then as soon as we are arriving at the apoapsis, we will do another burn and raise a little bit our periapsis so that we are not getting through the atmosphere of Jool anymore. And then we have to wait that we have at some point an alignment with Bob to have an encounter with Bob, but this will happen later. At first, I like to change a little bit the trajectory and make sure that we are remaining in an orbit around Jool and that we are not getting disintegrated because we are flying again inside the atmosphere of Jool. And oh, there's one additional thing. Luckily we do have enough electric charge, and there are some photovoltaic panels because I have completely forgot to extend again the solar panels of my driving stage I am mostly using right now to refuel or recharge my batteries. And yeah, I was just a little bit distracted because I saw over here Lace and I saw Tyler over there, and I was just looking if I'm able to discover. Yeah, I'm able to discover Wall as well. This is cool. This is really cool. Okay, in about 20 minutes we are it's wobbly. We are getting to our maneuver node. Am I controlling from the right thing? Control from here. Yeah, I am. Very good. Derdo Kerman. Derdo Kerman is the first one achieving an orbit around Jool because, well, our very first Jool expedition flight was just a flyby. It was not an orbital flight. So in this case, yeah, the very first time that we are having an orbit around Jool, and this is also pretty cool. What else do we have here in our contract? Science data from Elu, okay. Science data from Eve, we will maybe come to this later on in this episode. Science data from Space Around Lace, yeah, we will do this pretty soon. Plant flag on Lace, of course. Explore Bob, yeah, we are on a good way. Explore Pool, explore Tylo, yeah, we are on a good way for doing this. And I'm not quite sure with these contracts, should I discard them? What would happen then? Are then the contracts deleted, or what do I need to do? Because, well, I have these contracts completed information and I'm not quite sure if I should press the discard button. Maybe I just should try this out, but at first we have to we have to solve bigger issues, like, well, like our correction burn coming up in now about 9 minutes, 7 minutes, and we are getting further away from Jool. Now we can't see the whole planet. Okay, let's come to a stop here and let throttle up. Oh, it's a 1.5 minute burn. Not bad, not bad. Okay, Derdo Kerman. Then I remember I transmitted the crew report already, but we do have. Let me just check this. Gravity data display. The seismic scan. Is not so much, but somewhere, where's my thermometer? Over here, minus 430 degrees. This is interesting. That's so cold outside here. We have done a temperature scan from inside the atmosphere. I need to retrieve this, and I will do this after I finish the burn, because if I would now go on an EVA, this would be a little bit precarious, because then my vessel would just fly away and I would get stuck here in an orbit, or yeah, this would not be good. This would not be good for Derdo Kerman. So in this case, yeah, let me just at first finish the burn. And what about our resources? Well, we do have enough liquid fuel, and we are just landing on the small little moons, orbiting Jool, and by doing so, yeah, we will bring back hopefully some fuel, so that we have enough fuel to return later on back to Kerbal once we will finish this, our expedition, and once the return window has arrived to return back home from Jool. Okay, we are now coming to the end of the burn. Let me now cut the engine and do the very last moment of the burn very gently and cut the engine. Very good, very good. So now we have a standing node of 180 degrees. And well, the main problem is currently I think we do have a general issue when I'm looking here at my trajectories, because, well, Bob is orbiting in this way, so we are arriving there counterclockwise, and I'm not quite sure if this is really good or bad. We will find out. I think we are a little bit on the wrong side with our trajectory, but I think well, we should be able to manage this at some point. And okay, so the next thing is, in 18 hours and 6 minutes we will arrive at our Jool apoapsis, and now I hope this will not cost too many resources. I like to raise just a bit the periapsis. I'm not quite sure. Okay, there we should be. We are half between Lace and Jool. 228, 288. Okay, well, let's try this. Let's try this with this. Coming up in 18 hours and 17 minutes. Okay, I think we can barely do this because we are pretty much in a hurry because after we finish this burn, we have to switch over to our Eve expedition because the Eve expedition is just before arriving at Kerbal. So yeah, a lot of things are going on. And yeah, we are a little bit in a hurry. So let's continue. We need now to race or go out, fly out to our apoapsis so that we can raise a little bit our periapsis. And we have a beautiful view back, and I like this when I see the other moons orbiting around this planet. This is really a beautiful view, and I'm all the time so amazed when I can see this. This is just amazing, and yeah, I'm pretty much enjoying this. This is just great, and this is just amazing. And here, 8 hours. I hope I won't miss at some point a good encounter with Bob. This would be really a shame if I would miss an encounter with Bob, because, well, this will take some time, I guess, until we are able to have an encounter. And I will give this some thought when I arrived out here at my apoapsis. We are getting closer, and I'm sorry that I'm doing this a little bit slow, but I'm so amazed by the view to the moons. That yeah, I really like to enjoy this, to see this constellation of the different moons and orbiting around Jool, and this is just amazing. Okay, time for the next burn. Time for the next, well, to some degree, last burn of my Bob expedition until we have the chance of establishing an encounter with Bob. Okay, Derdo is now raising its periapsis so that he's not flying again through the atmosphere of Jool, and yeah, this is hopefully quite helpful. And yeah, let's continue with this. Then I'm also excited with my Touchdown version 3, the Lace and Wall expedition, when we are arriving at Lace. I hope everything will work out well. I think we need to go for a very steep approach, like maybe 10 kilometers, 15 to 10 kilometers or so through the atmosphere, and I think this is also a pretty interesting thing to arrive there at Lace, or to get captured at Lace. Well, at least we have demonstrated that this is working with our Jool supply mission, but well, this time we are doing this with a manned mission, and this time we are doing this with a real expedition, the supply mission. Well, if something went wrong, it would be okay that the thing is just disintegrated. Okay, bad things can happen, but with a manned mission this would be really a disaster. But okay, now we have to focus on other things, like the end of the arrival of the Bob expedition. Derdo is enjoying this. This is good. This is really good. And here also another thing is, after we landed on Bob, we can use all the fuel we have available for our return, because currently we are also carrying around our fuel we need for our landing. And yeah, so later on we can use everything for just our return flight. Okay, now I finished this, and now I like just to try out one thing. When I'm now raising my trajectory up to the orbiter of Bob, and then I start adding, and hey, look at this, look at this! When I add well, an orbit to this, so I would do the burn in 2 days and 14 hours, I would have an Bob encounter. This is so amazing. This is just great. I just thought, okay, I just click a little bit around and I do some tests. But here, with about 20 meters per second burn coming up in 2 days and 14 hours, I would be able to have already my Bob encounter. Great, great, just great. This is amazing. I hope I don't miss this. So this is an amazing outcome. And okay, speaking of amazing outcomes, these other two missions have some time. The Elo supply mission has some time. The dress expedition has just left, But, where is now my... Let's focus view on Kerbal, because Gilly Expedition, or better known as the Eve Expedition, switch to... Here we are. Here we are. And... Can we already spot Kerbal? Where would Kerbal? Kerbal would be in this direction. We are currently 20 hours away from arriving at Kerbal. So, sun is over there, a little bit above the Milky Way. So... I'm not quite sure if we are able to spot Kerbal. We are currently 20 hours away from it. Maybe it should be possible to spot Kerbal, but you see, we have a very tight schedule. Yeah, we are able to spot Kerbal over here. This tiny dot, for you it might be look just like a star or something like this, but this is Kerbal. This is Kerbal. We have a visual on Kerbal already. And here, this indicates again our very tight schedule. But although the schedule is pretty tight, I like to cover the Eve expedition arrival in a proper way, and in this case I like to end this episode right now and feature the arrival of the Eve expedition in the next episode, because I'm already aware that this will take some time because I've already recorded this. And in this case, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this episode, and I hope you will be joining me in the next episode when we, as I already said, arrive at Kerbal with our Eve expedition. In this case, until next time, my name is Evie. See you!